We were here doing the CAE revolution, and now the digital twin revolution. Some $2 trillion of ecosystem here in Europe that we partner with and that we have the privilege of supporting. What comes out of that is a new revolution that's happening. As you know, everything that moves will be robotics. Everything that moves will be AI-driven.
As long as NVIDIA is better than what we make, we'll keep buying from NVIDIA.
Is that the case right now?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're obviously buying them for XAI, the Memphis.
Big time.
Big time, right?
Elon Musk and Jensen Huang are now on the same page. NVIDIA can't be stopped anymore, and neither can Elon. NVIDIA's new chip, Blackwell, is so powerful it's changing what AI and robotics can do in the real world. Musk is building Tesla's future on it, scaling up to 1 million GPUs to power autonomous cars and humanoid robots. And Huang says this is just the beginning. In this video, we'll break down how NVIDIA's new hardware is accelerating Musk's vision, why it might be too powerful to control, and what this means for the future of AI and robotics. Let's get into it.
At that time when millions of these things are coming off of a line like we just saw with cars, they're going to be fully autonomous. They're going to come off, and the way you've described it, they're going to be able to come in my house, and I'm going to be able to say, all right, do the dishes. Now I need you to walk the dog.
Absolutely.
Hold the baby.
In fact, you really won't even need to. It'll figure out what you probably want and do what you probably want without you even having to ask.
How many GPUs are you going to need for that?
Well, quite a few GPUs. We do have our own program called Dojo for training, which I think will be helpful.
Right now it's contributing about 5% towards self-driving, right?
Yeah. So
is that the one in New York State? Dojo?
Yeah, it's in New York. So, but we expect to still buy a lot of GPUs from NVIDIA, some from AMD, and maybe from others. And as long as NVIDIA is better than what we make, we'll keep buying from NVIDIA.
Is that the case right now?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're obviously buying them for XAI, the Memphis.
Big time.
Big time, right?
Yeah, XAI is building the most powerful. We have the most powerful. I think we have the most powerful training cluster in the world right now, which is over 200,000 GPUs training coherently. You're
at 200,000 already now.
Yes.
There in Memphis, that facility that you
yes.
put to, okay.
Yes.
And where are you going?
And we'll be at the million GPU level in the location just near Memphis.
Wait, a million GPUs for a new location, or 800,000 additional GPUs?
A million of the next generation GPUs.
So Blackwell.
Well, yeah.
Tesla already operates over 200,000 NVIDIA GPUs for training AI. That's larger than any known corporate AI cluster. And this isn't just for cars. Musk's long-term plan involves humanoid robots, starting with Tesla's Optimus, being deployed into homes, hospitals, and factories. He's said they'll be able to provide nearly any service at extremely low cost. To get there, Tesla needs NVIDIA's hardware, especially the H100, which is currently the industry's most powerful chip for AI training. Musk said they're increasing from 35,000 to 85,000 H100s by the end of the year, and spending $10 billion in 2025 on AI infrastructure, up to $4 billion of that on NVIDIA chips alone. But behind the scenes, things aren't going smoothly. Internal NVIDIA emails show Musk redirected 12,000 H100 GPUs originally scheduled for Tesla to X, his social media company. This move delayed Tesla's GPU build-out by months, creating tension with shareholders who are already concerned about missed deadlines and falling EV sales. NVIDIA staff confirmed that Musk's public statements about Tesla's procurement conflict with actual orders and delivery timelines. Tesla's AI supercomputers in Buffalo and Texas were not yet ready to install the hardware, so the chips were rerouted to X and XAI, the AI startup also run by Musk. NVIDIA is facing extreme demand. Their CEO, Jensen Huang, said every chip they manufacture is being claimed by major tech firms. Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, OpenAI, and now Musk are all competing for the same limited supply of H100s and the upcoming Blackwell chips. This competition isn't just technical, it's geopolitical. The companies that control this level of AI compute will shape national security, automation, and labor in the next decade. Huang has said the robotics market alone will become a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and Optimus is the most likely product to scale first. Elon and Jensen agree on one thing. Once this level of AI is deployed into physical machines, with real-world decision-making and movement, it becomes very hard to manage or reverse. The systems are trained across massive datasets and millions of parameters. They learn continuously. With enough compute, the models evolve on their own. Now that Tesla, X, and xAI are all building supercomputers at this scale, powered by NVIDIA, the concern is no longer whether it's possible. The concern is whether it can be controlled. Let's hear what Jensen Huang has to say.
We spend most of our time generating words for our own mind, generating images for our own mind before we produce it. And so the thinking machine is really architecturally what Grace Blackwell was designed to do. It was designed to be one giant GPU. I compared it to GeForce for a good reason. GeForce is one GPU. So is GB200. It is one giant virtual GPU. Now we had to disaggregate it into a whole bunch of components, create a bunch of new networking technology and SerDes technology, incredibly low power, high energy efficiency interconnects to connect all of these chips and systems together into one virtual GPU. This is the Hopper version. This is the world famous Hopper system. This 8 GPUs connected together on NVLink. What's not shown here is a CPU tray. A CPU tray with dual CPU and system memory that sits on top. Together, this represents one node of an AI supercomputer. About $500,000. This is the Hopper system. This is the system that really put us on the face of the map of AI. And it was under allocation for a very long time because the market took off so quickly. But this is the famous Hopper system. Well, this entire system, including the CPU, is replaced by this Grace Blackwell node. This is one compute tray. Right here will replace that entire system. It is fully liquid cooled. And the CPUs are integrated, directly connected to the GPUs. So you could see it here, 2 CPUs, 4 GPUs is more performant than that entire system. But what's amazing is this. We wanted to connect a whole bunch of these systems together. How would you connect all of these together was really hard for us to imagine. So we disaggregated it. What we did was we took that entire motherboard, we disaggregated into this and this. This is the revolutionary NVLink system. Scaling out computing is not that hard. Just connect more CPUs with Ethernet. Scaling out is not hard. Scaling up is incredibly hard. You can only build as large of a computer as you can build. The amount of technology and electronics that you could fit into one memory model is incredibly hard to do. And so what we decided to do was we create a new interconnect called NVLink. NVLink is a memory semantics interconnect. It's a compute fabric, not a network. It directly connects to the CPUs of all of these different NVLink systems, compute nodes. This is the switch. 9 of these stands on top. 9 of it sits on the bottom. In the middle are the NVLink switches. And what connects it together is this miracle. This is the NVLink spine. This is 100% copper. Copper coax. It directly connects all of the NVLink chips to all of the GPUs, directly connected over this entire spine, so that every single 144 Blackwell dies, or in 72 different packages, are talking to each other at the same time without blocking, all across this NVLink spine. The bandwidth of this is about 130 terabytes per second. 132, I know. No, wait for it. 130 terabytes per second. If it's in bits, 130 terabytes per second. It is more than the data rate of the peak traffic of the world's entire internet traffic on this backplane. And yeah. So this is how you shrink the internet into 60 pounds. NVLink. And so we did all that because the way a computer is considered, the way you think about computers is going to be fundamentally different in the future, and I'll spend more time on this, but it was designed to give Blackwell a giant leap above Hopper.
Jensen Huang took the stage in Paris and laid out exactly how NVIDIA is enabling the kind of scale Elon Musk is chasing, and why it's getting harder to keep these systems within human control. He introduced the GB200 Blackwell node, a new AI computing platform that replaces NVIDIA's previous high-end system, Hopper, which was already $500,000 per unit. And now, one Blackwell node is more powerful, more efficient, and fully liquid-cooled. It integrates CPUs and GPUs directly, which cuts out latency and dramatically boosts performance. But what matters most is how it scales. Jensen explained that connecting a few chips together isn't hard. Connecting 144 AI chips across 72 GPU modules into one unified supercomputer, that's the breakthrough. And NVIDIA did it with something they call NVLink, a proprietary interconnect that acts like the nervous system for the world's most powerful AI systems. The NVLink spine, made entirely of copper, links every chip in the system with no bottlenecks, delivering 130 terabytes per second of bandwidth. That's more than the entire world's internet traffic, running through a system that weighs about 60 pounds. This is how Tesla, xAI, and others can now train trillion parameter models across massive GPU clusters without traditional limitations. And this is why Elon is racing to build supercomputers with 1 million GPUs, systems that don't just analyze data, but simulate the real world, predict behavior, and power robots that interact in human environments. But this level of integration also creates risk. When you scale AI this aggressively, to the point where a single rack can handle more data than the entire internet, you're no longer dealing with predictable systems. You're building structures where every part of the network is learning, adapting, and reasoning in real time. This is what Elon hinted at when he said these machines will know what you want before you do. And it's what Jensen confirmed. The infrastructure now exists to run fully autonomous AI systems, trained across interconnected memory and compute units at global scale. Once this kind of compute becomes widely available, and robots are built on top of it, you're not training a tool. You're enabling autonomous agents with physical capabilities, and the margin for error drops to zero. Tesla, X, and xAI are already competing for this hardware. Musk has been rerouting shipments, consolidating GPU clusters, and using NVIDIA's Blackwell chips to power both his self-driving goals and his AI ambitions. Jensen's keynote makes one thing clear: the infrastructure is no longer the barrier. Now the question is, can we still control what we've built once it's fully operational? That's what Elon and Jensen are both pointing at, and it's closer than most people realize.
As you know, everything that moves will be robotics. Everything that moves will be AI-driven. And the car is the most obvious next one. NVIDIA builds the AI supercomputers to train the model. The AI supercomputer for Omniverse digital twins. We also build the AI supercomputers for the robots itself. In every single case, whether it's in the cloud, for Omniverse, or in the car, we offer the entire stack. The computer itself, the operating system that runs on top of this computer, which is different in every single case. This computer, high speed, sensor rich, must be functional safe. In no circumstance could it fail completely. And so the safety requirement's incredibly high. And now we have an incredible model that sits on top of it. This model that sits on top of it is a transformer model. It's a reasoning model, and it takes sensor in, you tell it what you want it to do, and it will drive you there. Takes pixels in, and it generates path plans output. So it's a generative AI model based on transformers. Incredible technology. NVIDIA's AI team, AV team, is incredible. This is the only team that I know that has won end-to-end self-driving car challenge at CVPR 2 years in a row. And so they're the winner again this year. Let's take a look at the video. Yep, thank you.
Like any driver, autonomous vehicles operate in a world full of unpredictable and potentially safety-critical scenarios. NVIDIA Drive, built on the Halo safety system, lets developers build safe autonomous vehicles with diverse software stacks and sensors and redundant computers. It starts with training. Safe AVs need massive amounts of diverse data to be able to address edge cases. But real-world data is limited. Developers use NVIDIA Omniverse and Cosmos to reconstruct the real world and generate realistic synthetic training data to bring diversity to the AV model. The model can perceive and reason about its environment, predict future outcomes, and generate a motion plan. And for decision-making diversity, an independent classical stack runs in parallel. Guardrails monitor safe performance, and in cases of anomalies, calls the arbitrator to make an emergency stop. Further diversity and redundancy are built into the sensor and compute architecture. Each sensor connects to redundant computers. So even if a sensor or computer fails, the vehicle stays safe and operational. And in the event of a critical failure, the system can execute a minimum risk maneuver, like pulling over to the shoulder. Safety is foundational to autonomous driving. NVIDIA Drive lets developers worldwide integrate Halos into their own products to build the next generation of safe AVs.
A billion cars on the road, 10,000 miles a year on average, 10 trillion miles. The future of autonomous driving is obviously gigantic, and it's going to be powered by AI. This is the next gigantic opportunity, and we're working with enormous companies and really fantastic companies around the world to make this possible. At the core of everything we do here with AV is safety, and we're really, really proud of our Halo system. It starts with the architecture of the chip, and then the chip design, and the systems design, the operating system, the AI models, the methodology of developing the software, the way we test it, everything from the way we train the models, the data we provide for the models, all the way to the way we evaluate the models. NVIDIA's Halo system and our AV safety team and capabilities are absolutely world-renowned. This computer was the first one to be software-defined. The world's first software-defined, completely 100% software-defined, AI-driven software, AI-driven stack for AVs. We've been at this now for coming up on 10 years. And so this capability is world-renowned, and I'm really proud of it. The same thing that's happening for cars is happening for a new industry. As I mentioned earlier, if you can generate video from prompts, if AI can perceive, it can reason, and it can generate videos and words and images, and just now with cars, the path, the steering wheel path, why can't it also generate locomotion abilities and articulation abilities? So that fundamental ability for AI to revolutionize one of the hardest robotics problems is around the corner. Humanoid robots are going to be a thing. We now know how to build these things, train these things, and operate these things. Humanoid robotics is going to potentially be one of the largest industries ever. And it requires companies who know how to manufacture things of extraordinary capabilities. This speaks of the European countries. So much of the world's industries are based here. I think this is going to be a giant opportunity. Well, let's say it's 1 billion robots around the world. The idea that there'll be 1 billion robots is a very sensible thing. Now, why hasn't it happened? Well, the reason for that is simple. Today's robots are too hard to program. Only the largest companies can afford to install a robot, get it to teach it, program it to do exactly the right things, keep it sufficiently surrounded so that it's safe. That's the reason why the world's largest car companies all have robots. They're large enough, the work is sufficiently repetitive, the industry is at a sufficient scale that you could deploy robots into those factories. Almost everybody who's a Mittelstand or small, medium companies or mom and pop restaurants or stores or warehouses, it's impossible to have that programming capability until now. We're going to give you essentially robots where you could teach them. They'll learn from you. Just as we were talking about agentic AI, we now have humanoid AI that can learn from your teaching using toolkits that are very consistent with the NEMO toolkits I spoke about. NVIDIA here as well is built in 3-layer stack. We build the computer, the Thor computer. Dev kit looks a little bit like this. This is a robotic computer, completely self-contained. Dev kit sits on your desk. These are all the sensors. And inside is a little supercomputer Thor chip. Just really, really incredible. And these, yep. Yeah. I could imagine getting one of these inserted like that. Okay. Thank you, Janine. And so that's the Thor processor. On top is an operating system designed for robotics, and on top of that, transformer models that take sensor and instructions and transforms it and generates flight or paths and motor controls for arm articulation, finger articulation, and of course your legs articulation. Now, the big challenge of humanoid robotics is the amount of data necessary to train it is very, very hard to get. And so the question is, how do you do that? Well, the way you solve that problem is to back in Omniverse, a digital twin world that obeys the laws of physics. And this is an incredible piece of work that we're doing. Don't do it. Don't. Oh, my fault. Okay, these are robots. We develop computers to simulate, to train them, computers to simulate them, and the computer that goes inside them. There's a whole bunch of human robotics companies being built around the world. They all see the great opportunity to revolutionize this new device, if you will. And the progress is going incredibly fast. And the way that they all learn is they learn in a virtual world. And this virtual world has to obey the laws of physics. And recently, we announced a big partnership with Disney Research and DeepMind. And we're going to work together to create the world's most sophisticated physics simulation. And I'm just trying to figure out, at this point, how to go to that slide. Teach me. Who's with me? This is what happens when you only rehearse once. Okay, so this incredible system is where an AI learns how to be an AI. Let me show it to you. We have a special guest. Your name is Greg. Are you a petite garçon or petite fille? Okay. Greg is a little girl. Now, look at this. Greg learned how to walk inside Omniverse, obeying the laws of physics. And by inside Omniverse, we created hundreds of thousands of scenarios. Then finally, when Greg learned how to operate and walk and manipulate in those environments on sand and on gravel, on slippery floors, on concrete, on carpet, then when Greg comes into the physical world is just 100,001 version of the world. And so you learn how to walk in the virtual world, and look at you now. Can you jump? Wow. Can you dance? Well, I just want to let you know, I am the keynote presenter. So I need you to behave. I need you to behave for a few seconds.
Jensen Huang ended with a clear message. Robots that learn, move, and think, like humans, are no longer theoretical. The full stack is built. NVIDIA is producing the chips, the software, and the simulation environments needed to train and deploy them at scale. Their new Thor processor is a compact robotics supercomputer. It runs transformer models that take in sensor data and generate real-time control of arms, hands, and legs. It's paired with Omniverse and Cosmos, virtual worlds that obey the laws of physics and generate the massive training data needed for robot learning. This is exactly the infrastructure Elon Musk is racing to acquire. Tesla's Optimus robot, Musk's push for 1 million NVIDIA GPUs, and the planned $10 billion in AI spending are all aimed at one thing: building AI systems that don't just respond, they reason and act. Musk says there could be tens of billions of humanoid robots, capable of replacing human labor across every industry. Jensen agrees and calls this the next multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. But at this scale, the challenge shifts. NVIDIA is creating hardware so powerful that a single rack can train models with more bandwidth than the entire global internet. These systems will live inside autonomous cars, homes, factories, and eventually in every part of the economy. Musk's vision depends on this hardware, but he's also diverting chips between Tesla and his other companies like xAI and X, raising questions about focus, control, and governance. Both leaders are betting everything on this future, and they're building the tools to make it happen. The question now isn't whether the hardware works. It does. The question is, who controls what it creates? Let us know what you think. Is this the breakthrough humanity needs? Or a turning point we haven't prepared for? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us as we cover the truth behind AI, robotics, and the companies shaping the next era.